I've got a hummingbird feeder cleaning tip that you're going to thank me for when you see it. It's going to save you a ton of time and effort when it comes to cleaning your hummingbird feeders. Yeah, but Sugar Daddy, why are you using these tiny little plastic feeders? Well, since you asked, it's because I travel the world 6 months a year looking for exotic hummingbirds, and I'm always traveling with these in my luggage. They're both lightweight and compact, where I can travel with up to 5 to 8 of them. Sometimes, like the time I spent 6 months in Ecuador recently, the hummingbirds would empty all 8 of my feeders in about an hour and a half. So, I need to travel with several. And the way I film, I like to film the hummingbirds close to the camera. If you're interested in exotic hummingbirds that you've never seen before, you can see a ton of those videos elsewhere on the channel. Anyway, back to this hummingbird feeder cleaning tip that y'all want to see. I'm usually changing out my hummingbird feeders and cleaning them maybe once every day or once every 2 days, and so I needed something quick. I use these hummingbird feeders because, in addition to the reasons I've already mentioned, they're very easy to clean and take apart. You'll notice here that they have a wide mouth. That's easy to access, and you don't need a microscopic brush to get in there. And that's handy for me when I'm cleaning them all the time. The other thing that's very easy is the bottom base part just comes apart, and I can just easily access all the surfaces. Now, what's the most time-consuming part of cleaning a hummingbird feeder? It's in trying to remove the black mold and spores that have formed on your feeder. So the whole premise of this tip is to attack those very things that could be harmful to your hummingbirds before they even have a chance to grow, leaving your hummingbird feeders almost always clean. This particular one has been sitting out here for just over a day. It's now empty from the hummingbirds. And I don't know if you can see it from that distance, but there's no black mold or spores growing on this thing. It's because of the tip I'm going to share with you. I keep a full strength vinegar solution on hand. I've repurposed this man's cologne that I bought in, I think it was Guatemala or Mexico, but you can use any spray bottle you like. Also, as a side note, you can use hydrogen peroxide. It will have about similar effectiveness. And what I do when I take these apart is I make sure to spray all the surfaces, get a good soaking of vinegar on there. And what vinegar and or hydrogen peroxide will do for you is they'll instantly kill the black mold and the spores that are growing or about to grow on your hummingbird feeder. Stop them in their tracks. And now, when you go ahead and it's time to clean your hummingbird feeders, you just won't have that black mold growing on there, making it much easier to do the deep cleaning of your hummingbird feeders when it comes time. Now, it's important to note that this technique here shouldn't replace your full comprehensive deep clean hot soap and water routine that you do on your feeders. But the cool part is now, if you're cleaning your feeders once a day or once every 2 days, you can go through this routine, which takes probably a fraction of the time. And then once every 3rd or 4th rotation, you can go ahead and give it that deep clean hot water and soap that you're used to. Now, some folks will rinse this vinegar off right away, and I'm sure that's perfectly fine to do. I tend to go a step further, and I let this soak in its vinegar solution for usually about an hour. Sometimes I'll even go overnight with it. And the way I can do that is I keep enough feeders on hand to where I can take several out of rotation that are empty, soak them in the vinegar, and still have others full, fresh, and ready to feed my hummingbirds. Now that you know this hummingbird feeder cleaning hack that's going to save you a ton of time, you might want to learn how often should you clean your feeders based on what temperature it is outside. Or you might want to learn how to reduce or eliminate yellow jackets at your hummingbird feeders.